Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toplofty Lounge, episode 113. Lucky 113. Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs. I am your host, Science Fiction Snob. This week on the program, we're going to be talking about essential sci fi soundtracks. Good music. I think you might enjoy this one. Hopefully. We're going to do things in a little different way so we don't get copyright struck. We'll see how it works. Tell me after the show if you think it worked well or not. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host, the man with a song in his heart and a bounce in his step. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Did
Cam,
you like that pep in my greetings?
Yeah, it was not too bad. Is that because you're drinking?
Yep.
All right, Cam's drinking. This is a rare event, everyone. So he's probably going to get salty later. So just be careful. I guess I'm going to pour myself a little Southern Comfort right now so I can keep up.
Well, I'll tell the folks what I'm drinking then. How about that?
Oh, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking an Irish coffee.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so it's got, maybe a third of a shot in it or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a little. I just put a shot of Southern Comfort in, so I'm going to have that in a bit. All right. Well, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Who's in the chat today? We got Dave's in the chat. Hey, Dave, good to see you. All right, James, good to see you, James. Glad everyone's here. Jeanette is in here. Oh yes, Jeanette, very smart from last show. Very good job. Oh, Death Angel Shadow is in the show. He's apparently having some trouble with his hearing, but I guess it's working out now.
And his air conditioning.
And air conditioning too. Oh wow, that sucks. It's a little hot down here, but it's not too bad. Who else? Did I miss anyone? Oh, Weatherman. Weatherman need to make an appearance. All right. Going back to bed. Yeah. People are tired. Am I going to be humming music tonight? I might be humming along. I'll try to listen. I'll try to mute myself when the songs, when we're playing the songs, because, I want to disturb you guys. Oh, and thank you for Weatherman. He gifted a membership. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Always great. Thanks. And my ear trumpet got it. All right. Welcome. All right. Awesome. Okay, great. So Cam, what's been going on? Anything?
Well, I've had a week of hellish car repair nonsense.
Still?
Oh, yeah. It's pissing me off to no end. Yeah, I'm suppressing rage about it.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it? You don't want to say anything? No?
Okay. I mean, it's electronics. Electronics on cars are the devil's work.
Yes, I don't like it myself. I agree. I wish they just made a basic car with just basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No electronics. Electricity, but no electronics. Yeah. I think we talked about that last week, right?
Yeah, we did. It's still going on. So I spent a lot of time crawling under my my vehicle, which, at my advanced age is not that comfortable.
No, it's not. I can understand that. Yeah. Well, here in the dugout, we are still. It's been like a month since our flood, and we're still sitting here. I mean, it's not flooded anymore or anything, but we're still sitting here with, molding carpet, and the insurance company hasn't done anything yet, other than what they did, 3-4 weeks ago. We're just sitting here waiting, but they are calling and saying, "Hey, we're coming to pick up this equipment that we didn't get you, that we never gave to you." And then there's a guy, "Hey, we're here to pick up the carpet that's sitting outside your house that they have pulled out of your house." And I'm like, "They haven't done it yet." They're like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
I mean, how much idiocy should a person be expected to deal with in their life? Just absolute abject incompetence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What level do you get to, go off on somebody?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit more, forgiving because there's a lot of people that had this problem. I'm not the only one, and I'm relatively less than anybody else.
Okay, but it's one thing to not do it. It's the other thing to be like, oh no, it was done, right? And now we want the stuff back. It's like, which means you're not even on, you're not even in the queue, right? Most likely because they think it's already been taken care of.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I talked to them, and they said, "Oh, the guys who are phoning me are they're all like subcontractors, right? They're like, hey, the guy just picks up garbage and stuff. So some idiot puts their name on a list and he calls. So I don't get mad at those guys. They're calling, they're trying to do their job as quick as possible. They get a list. It's not their fault. Yeah. But yeah, somebody at the top is screwing up big time. But yeah. So anyway, it's just it's kind of a pain. It's been a month. Like basically, imagine you had to move. Like we have it's a bungalow, right? And the basement's big. So there's 2 floors, the main floor and the basement. So the basement is half the size is half the house, right? So we have a lot of crap down here. And now it's all in boxes, and it's like I'm moving, but we never unpack, right? So there's crap everywhere in boxes or here or there or wherever, even upstairs, right? Like it's like a minefield because we can't keep stuff down here because it gets wet. Like there's certain places it can't be kept, right? So yeah, it's a little bit, it can be frustrating. Like, it'd be nice to get this over with. And I could, use this place. The only place that didn't flood, well, the major part that didn't flood is where I've got my studio set up here. So I'm lucky for that, but it's still, I'm like, in this corner, and I'm like, so it's kind of a pain. I did have some good stuff. I went to it's not quite a flea market / garage sale, but I got a couple of board games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For a good price. Have you ever heard? Wingspan was one of the ones I got. I wasn't really looking to get that, but I think maybe the family will play it. Maybe
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've not played it.
Yeah, it's a well-known game. It looks nice. Girls should like it. So, yeah. And then,
sexist.
Oh, Weatherman's heading out. All right. See you later.
Take care,
See you later, Weatherman. Take care. And then I got this game called The Others. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It was a Kickstarter, so there's like a bunch of extra stuff in there. So I got a pretty good price, but it's 2 to 5 players, and one player plays the bad guys, and everybody else sort of gangs up on them. And it's about the main characters are heroes, and they're trying to the one player is sins. So it's kind of got a bit of a religious sort of, religious / occult. And so they have these heroes, and they're trying to defeat the guy who's representing the sins. But the problem is they have to take on some of the sins in order to get more powerful. So they got to balance themselves, right? It's the whole story of the hero might go and defeat the bad guys, but he might get prideful, right? So he's kind of taking on a little that kind of thing. So I don't know much about it. I hadn't heard about it before, but I figured I'd pick it up, give it a try. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. What else? I think that's about all I've been up to.
Hey,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm going a little viral on Twitter.
Oh, really?
You probably don't care because you've gone viral much before, but this is the most, I think. I've got about
viral.
Viral.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 150 people liking my reply, so that's viral for me. And all I did was some guy told a story about how about like some teachers can be sexist against men. And I put my own little story from back when I was in high school. I'll tell it here again real quick. And this is completely true. This story is true. It's not made up, nothing like that. So I'm in high school. It's the 80s. This girl who's relatively one of the smarter girls in school does an English paper on, I can't remember, probably analyst of some Shakespeare play or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something like that. She turns it into, there's 2 teachers in our high school who are teaching English at our, grade 11 or grade 12, whatever it was. She has the male teacher. She turns it into him. She gets an 80 something, 86, 87, something pretty high, pretty good score for an English paper, right? Her meathead boyfriend, who was a football player, then copies the same paper and turns it into the female. He had the female teacher, and I had her too. Turns it into her, and he gets like 62 or something like that, right? Significantly lower. And I mean, no one knew. I didn't know about this beforehand, but I guess they planned it because they instantly, they didn't try to hide it, and because that's cheating, right? They didn't go, "Hey, we cheat," they didn't hide it or nothing. They just came out and said, "Hey," because there was talk amongst the students that this was going on, that she was constantly this teacher. It's the '80s. This teacher's young. She's a big feminist. She's always talking about feminist crap in class when we don't care, and it's nothing to do with English. And so they set her up, and it was a bit of a scandal after that. Yeah, so that was my experience. It was kind of fun. Yeah, all true, completely true. So everyone's liking that story. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's a maybe get
banger.
I don't think I've got any more subs on X, or what do they call them on X? People who follow you. I don't think I got any more, but oh well. Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. Shall we jump right into the show, Cam?
No. You didn't ask me what I did to forward my sci-fi knowledge this week.
Okay, you got something? Because usually I ask you and you just get all angry at me. All right, what did you do this week to increase your sci-fi snobbery?
I watched the Masters of the Universe movie.
Really? What did you think?
It
the
was
new
okay.
one, right?
Yeah.
It was okay?
It was okay. It was, hey, Neutron's here. Welcome.
Hey, good to see you, Neutron.
It was pretty campy.
That's good, right?
It's not bad for, okay, here's the thing. I'm watching the beginning. I'm like, this looks like an 80s movie. I don't know. I wasn't sure. Are they going for that? Or was this just kind of, bad AI, whatever it is. Yeah, that's the name of the show. But it worked, and in terms, like at the very beginning, like it had a kind of a prologue,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went to, what people might have seen, which not really a spoiler, but there's some portions on Earth, and it's, there is a lot of this kind of modern nonsense in it, he works like an HR department or whatever, but they're kind of sending it up, though it's how
that's what I thought.
It is. So overall, it is kind of making fun of that stuff a bit, but someone else pointed out that there is some kind of millennial style humor that I'm just like, okay, sure, let's just keep going, and that's you can kind of chalk that up to the campiness a bit, but it is a little cringe, for someone of our age.
Yeah.
But see, Green Girl says she watched it and says, feel like laughing like a 12-year-old boy. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of it was a good time. It was don't expect too much out of it and you might enjoy it. There were some pretty decent fights. Some of the characters were done pretty well, like Trapjaw is like one of my favorites. He was done pretty well. He had some cool scenes. Beastman looked really cool. And the one thing in it is and I don't want to go too far into this, I guess, but it's like, why are they named all these things? It's because it's like, well, I don't want to say, but there's a reason why, they have all these weird names, Fisto and Ram Man and all this stuff. They explain that in the story. So that was kind of funny.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm been curious because some people say it sucked so bad. Other people say, hey, it's a good little, campy sort of. So what do you say? Do you say is it worth watching, or
it's worth watching for free?
Yeah,
that way. Yeah.
And how much would you rate it? What would you rate it?
Oh, out of 10?
Sure.
I don't know. A 7.
7, really? Oh,
yeah, it's not a great movie. It's not like, oh, I really want to watch this, but it's in terms of just kind of a good fun time.
Yeah,
a 7.
All right, well, that's pretty good. Well, I've been interested to give it a try because I've heard of this whole, people have saying, oh, it's really bad, but it seems to me that the jokes might be sending up the HR department type stuff, and so I didn't watch it yet, but I copied. Mortal Kombat 2 just also came out and is you can see it on the the channels and stuff. So I'm curious to check that out as well. I watched a little bit of it, but it was like dark.
Jeff says Jeff wants to hear the see this on the next review for next week.
We could review it. Yeah. Maybe not next week because I got to watch it first. I got to see if I can.
Oh, suddenly it's a big lift to watch a show.
No, I'm not saying it's a big problem. I just got to make sure I can. I don't want to promise something and not deliver if possible.
Yes, but Jeanette was asking what does campy mean?
What does campy mean? Cam, can you explain that?
Yeah, it's over the top kind of humor, intentionally so. Like the Batman 60s TV show is a classic example of campy.
Right, but now it's campy. It probably would be normal back in the 60s.
I don't know. I think it was meant
maybe
to be
a little campy in the 60s even.
Zardo's review is coming very soon, Jeff. Very soon.
You bet, Zardoz. Yeah, I don't think who knows? We might never do Zardoz. Cam doesn't really want to do it. All right. Okay. So, are we? Anything else you want to get into?
No.
I watched another. What else? I watched another episode of Halo. I've got it still. I looked at it. I was like, that's about it.
Not so hot.
It's okay. I mean, it's just. I'm not sure if I watched it before. I have mentioned this, but I've been sort of dragging myself, and I'm like have to be bored and have nothing else to watch, and then I watch another one of it. I really am. I feel sorry for the show because it's got some good elements in there, and it could have been good, but I think they just made some poor decisions. Like the guy playing the Master Chief is not so bad. The production design is very good. Like all the stuff looks good. The aliens look like they're supposed to, though they jump around. They kind of look a little funny, like they jump too fast. But that could be a throwback to the show, the TV, the game, because everybody jumps weird, in those games back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta, it didn't do that well. All right, okay, so we get into it. Let's get into it. Some of us old people would say. Campy is slapstick humor. Not really. It's a little bit different than slapstick. Well, I don't know. Deathstalker. Oh, all right. Okay, so for today, for the sci-fi soundtracks we're gonna do it's everyone knows it's a pain to do like a trailer or any type of music on YouTube because they come after you with the big giant copyright hammers. So what I've done to take care of this is that all of these movies or whatever we're going to talk about, they all have playlists on YouTube, right? You can just pull up a YouTube playlist. So what I've done is I've got links to them all. They're all in the YouTube right now. You can go get the links right now if you want. But what I'll do is I'll pull them up as we go through them. And if you can open up a second browser, put it on YouTube, and then I'll just find that link, click on it, whatever I need to do, and go to it. And I'll say, hey, it's track whatever is what we'll listen to, and we'll kind of go like the sort of the main. We don't have time to listen to every track, but we'll kind of look at the main track or whatever the most iconic track is of the movie or whatever it is, and then we will look at we'll let it play for a minute or two, whatever, and then we'll talk about it. So I think there'll be, I don't know if you're watching this afterwards, there's going to be, there might be periods of there's like silence and no talking, but that's because everyone's listening to the thing. But we'll put, like I said, we'll put up the link so people can follow the links. I'll put them up in the chat and also on the screen so you can follow them as we're doing this. Is this going to work? I don't know. It's the best way I could think of to do this, as opposed to trying to import all this music into the show itself and then have to, get rid of it afterwards. So hopefully that'll work. What do you think, Cam? Is that a good idea?
Sure.
Okay. If it's a bad idea, don't tell me. Tell me after the show.
Right.
That it didn't work. Okay. So are we ready? Let's go. Okay. So first, let's start off with Dune 1984. There's the thing right down there. Let me just do real quick. Pull up the list. And you can do this too, Cam. Hey, I've got all mine set up. Um, there is the link to the YouTube playlist of it. Yeah,
Let's
Ken doesn't
enjoy
sound
together.
Ken doesn't sound convinced. All right, so you go to YouTube, and this is the Dune original soundtrack. So we're going to look at the second title. It's called main title. The first is the prologue. I know that's with you remember the movie What's Her Name Talking at the beginning, the princess.
Erlen.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, but I think that I want to look at the second one. That kind of gives you the sense of the movie and what we're trying to do. So try listening to it. Click on now to the main title. Go. Okay, so that's the first sort of minute 20 seconds. That's the main title theme. That kind of gives you you feel that sweeping sort of back and forth music from. You remember that from the movie?
I don't remember that too specifically. No.
Oh, that's the opening. Yeah, the main opening title. So of course, it's Toto who did that.
Yeah, that's right. They did that whole soundtrack. Right?
They did the whole soundtrack with the exception of one track, which was done by, which is the Prophecy theme, which is done by Brian Eno, Roger Eno, and Dan Langlois. But it's primarily done by Toto. Yeah, the whole thing. There's a bunch of spoken word tracks, I think 4 total. If you want to go, a good one is The Floating Fat Man, the Baron. If you want to listen to that, just while we're talking, you want to just put that one on. That's got the Baron in there. There's, like I said, there's 4 tracks, I think, that have talking. The prologue's the first one. The Floating Fat Man's pretty good one. The Baron talking about stuff. So yeah. So of course this is Toto the band, except of course for the lead singer, because there's no words for the singer to do it, so he wasn't involved. This is the Vienna Volks choir, and it was conducted by Marty Piach, who is the father of the guy who plays the keyboard for the band. So a little bit of nepotism in there. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so it was released. It's released in 1997. There's not much. There's about total of how many? 9 main tracks. It was reissued again in '97. Yeah, that's about it. Not much to go on this one. What are your thoughts, Cam, about that theme?
Okay, I liked it, but I'm not. I was listening to it, and I'm like, this doesn't. I don't know that it fits Dune that well. I guess maybe if you're talking about the Imperial portion of Dune, it would, but the overall theme, I don't know that it is that great of a fit.
It was kind of trying to get that sort of sweepingness of of Arrakis a little bit, in that you didn't find that. I thought that was pretty sweeping at the
it is sweeping, but I just don't feel Arrakis when I listen to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you want to listen to another? Do you want to listen to the Floating Fat Man or?
If you like.
All right, let's do a little bit of the Floating Fat Man. A little bit.
Dead air.
Listen to the Floating Fat Man. All right, what did you think about that one? Especially the pianos coming in at about 50 seconds in or so.
Well, it's very horror movie esque.
Yeah,
Like
I
old
think
fashioned horror movie.
you
I
don't know
don't
how it didn't fit with the movie.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So not so great, maybe. All right. Okay.
It's too recognizable related to something else.
You think
You know?
so?
Yeah. If right, did that not strike you? It's like, nope, that's horror movie.
Yeah, a little. It was kind. I mean, not quite because it was a little faster because horror would be slower, but it did have that sort of vibe.
Mhm.
I wouldn't disagree with that. This is kind of interesting because going through these and I've listened to certain ones. There's a difference between the stuff that is earlier, like the 80s, versus stuff that is more the 2000 210s and stuff. So it's kind of interesting that you say that. All right. Um, let's move on to the new Dune 2021. Uh,
Okay.
let's listen to, I think where is it here? I think Dream of Arrakis really sets the sort of the mood of the thing. I think this one's a little slower. You're gonna have to like wait a little bit, and there's a bit of dead air at the beginning of it.
Okay.
No,
You get.
not much going on. So go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Dream of.
Do you have a fresh link for this, or is this?
Yeah. I better do the fresh link. Um, let me put it up. Sorry, thanks for reminding me. Okay, hold on a second here. Here is the link for Dune 2020, and I'll also put it up in the chat. Okay, and so listen to the first. We're gonna probably listen to two on this one. Dream of Arrakis and Herald of the Change in a bit, but try the first one first. Everybody, you got that, Cam?
Yep.
Working through. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So Dream of Arrakis, first one. All right, I'm gonna listen. A little bit of dead air at the beginning. Okay, if you start to see around the, after the sort of the minute 30 mark, you get a little bit of, heartbeat, but I don't think it's a heartbeat. I think they're attempting to show the thumper. I think that's what they're basically trying to show
Mhm.
there. Yeah, let me, okay, sorry, not Herald of the Change. Go to, I think, Leaving Caledon is a bit more,
Okay,
uh,
are you sure you don't want to talk about this piece first?
this piece.
That
The
piece of
whole,
music.
okay, go ahead.
Um,
What would you like to
I
say?
think okay. Just again, I, I saw the movie. I'm sure I heard it, obviously, but I never listened to it on its own. That to me stands out as evoking Arrakis to me.
Ah, okay, good. With the thumper.
Well, just the whole thing. It kind of has these reminds me of a desert culture kind of thing. You know the long uh, kind of droning notes. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't I'm not a musician, so I can't tell you proper terms and things. I'm just saying that if I heard that related to something about Arabian Nights or something, I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, that fits. Which I think is a proper thing to evoke with Dune.
All right, I will slow down for Mr. Milktoast. I will not. If I'm trying to speed run, I'm not trying to do that. I'll do that.
You, you know,
Let
uh,
me. Yeah.
mm, well,
Let me
this
go a
might
little
just
bit. Let me go a little bit into this, into the composer. So, of course, Hans Zimmer is the composer for the new Dune. Very popular. I mean, you'll see a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight is either him or John Williams. They're some of the best sci-fi, like the most well-known best sci-fi composers. He was really trying to go for that otherworldly tonal sound for the for this movie. So you can see that there's female choir, there's percussion, there's strings. He's got some acoustic and wind instruments. He spent some amount of time um, working, like building different instruments for the movie. He often works with Nolan. He worked on The Dark Knight with him, Inception, all kinds of stuff. However, he chose to do this over Tenet. Tenet and Dune were coming out at the same time, and Villeneuve asked him to do this. And of course, he was probably going to get asked to do Tenet as well. He said, "No, I'm doing Dune." He says Dune is one of his favorite books as a kid growing up, and he says he has to do it. So, yeah. So the big thing about this score is he really wanted to get across the alienness of Arrakis. Do you think that first piece did that do it for you, Ken?
in addition to yes, and that might seem like it contradicts what I said because it does have some familiar elements to it. But yeah, it feels it's strange. It's foreign, I guess.
Okay, let's try a different one. I want this one here, Leaving Caledon. That's about one, two, three, four, five, six down on the track there. Leaving
Got it.
Caledon. That is a bit more. I think that's a bit more recognizable. That people you'll hear that and you go, yeah, yeah, I remember this from the movie. So let's try that. Go ahead, Leaving Caledon. Track number 6. got any thoughts on this one, Cam?
Yeah, my first reaction to it is that this sounds like something that would be from a suspense or a thriller kind of movie.
Right.
And then it kind of there's some, I think it's guitar in there where you got a few things that then kind of brings me back to it sounds a little bit, or maybe it's a sitar or something like that. And that's kind of the feel it starts to get into. And then, as you get the heavier with the percussion, and then some of was there vocalization in there as well, or something?
I don't think so. I mean, there is some vocalization on this, but I don't think there was any there. But I didn't notice myself. But
well, as it got to the end, whatever that kind of was, was kind of, again, it got more ethereal or foreign or otherworldly.
You felt that alienness.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was a really a good piece.
Okay. One more. I want to. The next track, track 7, is Eric Keane, and now this one is because there's some beating that sounds like a helicopter, which is, of course, an ornithopter, which is their equivalent of a helicopter. But maybe try. We can still talk about it, but maybe people want to put that in the background and listen. Well, I'll listen for a little bit. So if you click Eric Keane, you'll recognize the helicopter fairly quickly. It'll come in. It'll sound like it anyway. Okay. You get the helicopter-like sounds in that one?
I guess if you're saying the percussion was supposed to be like the whoop, 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 whoop of the helicopter kind of thing, or are you talking earlier on where it was like the
right?
Okay.
And I think that is the other side of that is you sort of the drumming on the sand, right? The other side of that, you hear the percussion on the sand. All right. Yeah. Okay. People coming in, we'll have to let people know. So what we're doing is we're looking at.
Snob, let me ask you a question. Does it matter if we get copyright struck?
Well, it's a big pain in the ass afterwards.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, why? Does it take it down?
It can. I mean,
I'm saying, what can they claim?
Well, they're always going after music. I mean, well, no, they can't claim anything from. But it.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. I tried doing it this way. That's my idea. Okay, so just anyone who's coming into the stream new, what we're doing is we're looking at these soundtracks, and
it's a listen at home.
Yeah, it's kind of you listen at home. I put up the links to the to a YouTube. All you got to do is open up another browser, click on the link. YouTube brings up a playlist of all the stuff from the movie, and then we just go to the track that we're talking about, listen to it, and then I'm gonna, go come back in. The links are all in the links are. I'll put them on the bottom of the screen, and there also will be. They'll also be in the chat. I'll put them in the chat as well, and they're also on the YouTube and Rumble version of the thing. All of the links are there for the rest of for everything already for the show. You can find it what we're gonna all in order too. So 3 strikes you're out. Yeah, it's just a pain afterwards. When you're trying to sort things. There'd be a lot of music I might have to take out afterwards. So, yeah. I thought I'd give it a try. Try this way, see if it worked. Okay, so any thoughts on that one, Cam?
Again, it had a lot of similarities to the first piece, I think, with the percussion. And actually the other one too. So there's a lot of elements through here. There was a little woodwind that came in the middle of that I kind of liked. Again, I've liked all these pieces. I just don't know if I have any deeper analysis on this particular one.
All right. So before we move on, there's actually 3 there's 3 Dune soundtracks to this movie. They've got the Dune sketchbook, which came out first, which is not really, it's music from the soundtrack, but it's not the soundtrack. And then they released the original motion picture soundtrack. And then later they released The Art and Soul of Dune, which is a companion book of music. So they really pushed the music on this one. I think, Mr. Muktos, you got a good point. I will try to do that. Let me just.
Oh my God, Mr. Moktos, don't, please. We're just it's gonna be the Dune show. He's talking about the Dune miniseries from the 2000s.
Yeah. Dune miniseries. No, we just got to look at these 2. So better. Second one, better, more atmospheric, more towards giving you that feeling of Dune.
Meaning the new movie, the second.
Yeah.
I think so.
You think so? Yeah, mm-hmm. I would tend to agree as well. Though, re-listening to Toto and the Dune, I like the main theme of there. I found it evoked some of that as well, but not quite as well as the new one did. I would agree.
I didn't dislike it. I just didn't think it brought me into what Dune is as well.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I as they go along, they seem to do better as we go along there a little bit. The composers are better at trying to see what they're trying to do. I'll mention as well that Zimmer, by the time they got into Dune Part 2, he already had 30 minutes of sound going on already. He already had 30 minutes, and he gave this to Villeneuve, and it kind of helped shape the second movie a little bit, which is usually unusual because usually it goes the other way around. The directors or whoever come and say, no, we want this, we want that sort of thing. All right, so let's move on to our next Jurassic Park. Let's go to let me put up. Okay, Jurassic Park. Here's the link for Jurassic Park, and I will also put it up in the chat. So again, click on the link, go to YouTube. This is a YouTube playlist for music from the movie, and hey, you can listen to this afterward as well. Do whatever you want for these. Now, Jurassic Park, right, Cam?
Mm-hmm.
This is, of course, John Williams. Big sci-fi. Him and Zimmer pretty much have cornered the market almost for sci-fi movies, especially in the more modern era. Let's go with. Let's try it. Not opening titles. Let's do the opening theme. It's a bit long. We'll cut it off maybe two.
We don't need to listen to the whole thing necessarily.
No, we're just gonna go maybe 2 minutes.
Theme from Jurassic Park is what you're asking?
Yeah, I think we'll do theme from Jurassic Park. That's like track number 2. It looks like. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
And that's and we'll talk about what they're trying to evoke on that one. Well, first, maybe I'll ask you what they evoke first and see if you get it right. Okay, try that. Okay, so the key part is probably about 1:30 of the track where you start to get the music starts to sway a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that one, Cam?
Well, that portion specifically is very triumphant. It's like, you're, I mean, that's like you're looking at something majestic, right? Which is, dinosaurs, I guess, that this is something majestic.
So, Mr. Milto says a sense of wonder and exploration. What would you say that?
I think that's fair. At the beginning, I think that's it. The kind of the slower beginning is like this almost a little bit whimsical and wonder. Yeah, I think that's a great word for it.
So they were. The composer John Williams says that he was looking to try to evoke a sense of awe and fascination, which I think pretty much fits with wonder and exploration. Is at least wonder for sure. That's pretty much you pretty much bang on there. So the this was done with a very large orchestra, and there's some very weird, interesting instruments in there. For example, there is an E flat piccolo oboe in there, which I don't think I've ever heard of or seen before.
I love me some oboe.
But an E flat piccolo oboe. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, I can't
seen an oboe, but I've never seen that one. So the theme is really the beauty and the sublime nature of the dinosaurs in nature, because this is remember, this movie is
to start with.
This is the beginning of CGI, and when we saw that the theme there is done when the Brontosaurus comes out. They look over, they look at that, and you hear that soaring theme, and that's sort of the wonder and awe of this movie first starts to hit. Let's see, we want to do. There's some different things on the on this. There's 2 others that I have here Do you want to do? I'm not sure about the raptor attack. This one is very different um, than the soaring sort of theme. Do you want to do that one, Cam? Or do you want to go to the incident at Isa Nublar, which is the island there, which is kind of a more of a noble fanfare?
Let's go for the raptor attack if it's more of a
Raptor attack.
contrast.
It's quite different. Okay, so it's track 2, 3, 4, track 5, Raptor attack.
Right.
John Williams. So go ahead and do that one. Okay, so we're on. This is quite different. It starts right away. Very menacing. So I think you got the idea. It's a little bit more menacing than
Yeah,
the rest.
it's very menacing, but it's also very heavy. If you just told me blindly what this was, I would have thought maybe this would have been about the Tyrannosaurus, because the raptors are rather small and nimble, and they're using a lot of heavy brass here with tubas and such. Um, like I said, very heavy. So I'm not sure this fits all that well. It works as menacing,
Yeah.
but I
Well, I
don't
think
think
this
more
is
than
during a raptor attack, right? I think this is
presumably. I mean, it's
yeah.
called the raptor attack.
I think it's at the beginning, near the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that I don't think it makes me think of raptors. It would make me think of a bigger dinosaur, like the Tyrannosaurus.
Interesting. Yeah, I mentioned the wrong one. If you want to listen, we won't listen to it. But Journey to the Island is the one, which is much more of a noble fanfare. If you're listening, when you're listening at home, you want to click on that. It's just the track just above the Raptor attack. That's more also a sense of that, that bit of that awe and fascination, but more of a noble fanfare. And I believe that's when they're coming. They're coming to the island. Yeah. Okay. Could work for Jaws. Yeah, for Modi. Okay, so this Jurassic Park, the original, of course, was released in 1982, but it was this one's been reissued 1982.
No,
yeah, right at the same time as the movie.
No,
No, 92.
Yeah,
movie came out in 92, 93.
Yeah.
And it was reissued in 96 and again in 2002. Hold on. Let me have this right.
And we just recently lost Sam Neill.
Yeah, sorry. What did you say about Sam?
Sam Neill just died.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. So this is the start of, this is when I think they're working a little bit more, putting more into the, music is becoming more important within the, movies. They recognize how important it is into really getting that sense. And I really believe that the theme really gets across that sense of wonder and awe. I mean, just everybody could pretty much remember them, getting out of the car. And then I can't remember which actor hits the other one, and they turn over and you look and you see this giant brontosaurus moving by, and the music swells, and it's just incredible. Of course, as there's a 1,000 dinosaur scientists were spawned watching that movie that age. Okay,
nerds.
Yep. All right. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, it's a memorable soundtrack. The main theme. If you asked a lot of people, I'm guessing they'd say, "Oh yeah, that's Jurassic Park."
Starts to get into the it makes you. They're really working towards having you feel what is, using the music to enhance the movie and making it feel. Yeah. Music has always been important for movies. Even in the silent era, theaters had people playing live music scores. Yes, but it seems to me like they're focusing on it even more. Like, for the example, the difference in the two Dunes, for example, between 1985 and now, it seems the composers are a lot more focused and understand that they really how much power they have and how they can enhance the movie. That's my view. All right, let's move along to next. E.T.
Love it.
Remember this one, Cam?
Yes, I just said I love it.
All right. Okay, so E.T. Let me just pull up the stuff there. There is one of and I'll put the link in the chat.
Okay, what track you want to listen to?
Which track do you want to listen to? I was listening to the first track. I didn't find that any of these tracks, they weren't as evocative of the other ones. Let's listen to the first track, and then I don't know.
No. If I would say listen to Flying.
You want to listen to Flying?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me mention that. I'll mention that later. Okay. Let's listen to Flying. Okay. Listen. Track number 5.
Probably got left at the first minute.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's really. Yeah, I'm on about a minute now.
So I mean, obviously that that's kind of
the classic. Yeah, that's the classic from E.T.
Right.
What do you get from that?
Again, very adventurous. Kind of innocent,
whimsical
child. Yeah, child. Very appropriate for child adventure. Childlike adventure.
Yeah. You really get the sense of them flying through the air with that, that classic from the poster. I mean, not from the poster where they're flying in the, from this picture here, flying in the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, another one by John Williams. That won an Academy Award for Best Original Score, Grammy for Best Soundtrack for Visual Media. Again, very much a very popular. What else? Won a BAFTA. Was only the fourth score to win a Academy Awards, a Golden Globe, Grammy, and a BAFTA all together. Two others of those include Star Wars and Jaws. only 6 total have won all those, and John Williams is the only one to do that more than once. So that gives you an idea of he's done that three times with Star Wars, Jaws, and E.T. for sure. I don't know if there's been any others. Yeah, that's kind of the basics of the movie. I don't. Sorry.
There's actually quite a few numbers. Like again, if you listen to the first one, it's very much it's like when ET's gets left on Earth and everything. Actually, it goes into number 2. So the first one is, I guess, the ship, but then they've got the ones where it's like track. What is it? 3 here, where it's like Elliot and ET. It's like this very much softer at the beginning.
Do you want to listen to that one?
We can just to get an idea. Maybe listen. Go to like 30 seconds in.
Jump in. Okay, so track number 3. Jump in 30 seconds. This one not as evocative to me as the flying one.
No, this is an example of it's more background. Where because he's interacting with him, and so it's much more subtle. But I suggested that because it's a good contrast.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is very whimsical, though. It's a whimsical movie. It's
a kids' movie.
Great movie, though, in my opinion.
Yes, excellent movie. I will mention. I'm not gonna. I mean, people can play it later if they want. I'm not. I'm gonna mention this just because it's a bit of a interesting. The track 4, E.T.'s Halloween. Of course, there is. If you listen, maybe you might be able to get the. If you remember the movie, there is a kid who is dressed as Yoda when they're walking around, and Williams weaves a little bit of Yoda's theme in there, in that sequence. So if you want to, we won't do it, but if you want to listen in and see if you could try to find that, it's a little bit of trivia for you. And of course, also, completing the circle so that we know that E.T. is in the Star Wars universe. If you watch The Phantom Menace, in the Senate, there's a scene and they got 3 ETs as part of the Senate. So, yeah.
That scene, the soundtrack for the Halloween one is good because again, it's kind of representing ET's reactions to all this because he's seeing all this, strange, things that are kind of like, overwhelming him. Of course, he's disguised as a ghost, right? And so no one can see him, but he's seeing, through the holes in the mask and like I said, being overwhelmed by all these weird costumes and things.
Yeah. Robert, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, work is beckoning. Hey, if you want to come and listen to it, I mean, if you can't check out the list there, you want to see some really great sci-fi movie soundtracks. You can listen to them on your own on YouTube. You just click on the link and it pulls up a playlist. You can listen to whatever you want. Mr. Miltos asks, is this pre or post CGI edits E.T.? This is the original soundtrack, I believe. This is, from I don't know if the CGI edits affect that at all. Yeah,
I think they've restored some of that as well. I think they backed off of that, as I recall.
I'm specifically just talking about the soundtracks.
Yeah.
This was reissued in 96, 2002, and 2017. This soundtrack has been re-released a bunch of times. So, it was originally re-released in 1982, excuse me. And then 96, it was reissued, and then it was reissued again in 2002, and then in 2017 it was reissued 2-disc set.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Jeff mentions the Universal ride, the ET ride at Universal, still there to this day. I actually, when I visited there a year or so back, I actually rode on it. It was, it's a very dated ride, but not bad. It's pretty fun.
All right. Anything else you want to mention about ET? Classic.
It was my. I don't know that it was the only inspiration, but it was something that pushed me to find out how to play Dungeons and Dragons. So it for me is the Stranger Things of the 80s.
Of the 80s, yeah.
Mhm.
No, I don't blur the 80s and the 90s. It's just my penmanship is so bad. So when I'm reading my notes, 8s and 9s are I misspeak myself. Yeah, they all blur once you get old like me. Okay, next.
Wait, real quick, Jeff.
What?
Do you think it
Oh,
is
go back.
dated or not dated? Just ask. Just
The music
clarify.
is dated?
No. The ride.
No, the ride.
I don't know if he's mocking me or he's okay. So yeah, he thinks it is. It is. He agrees it is dated. Yeah, it's really old. Anyway,
right.
okay.
Now moving along to 2001.
Oh, great classic.
Now I almost didn't include this because it is not really doesn't really have any original music, right? Like it's kind of it takes things, a lot of classic, but it's such a classic movie that I had to put it in. All right, so let me just here's the link, and let me throw it into the chat as well. The link to 2001: A Space Odyssey playlist. So if you're just joining us, what we're doing is we are talking about sci-fi soundtracks. So in order to avoid the copyright strikes and put you guys on some good sci-fi music, you can just click on the link there. It'll take you to a YouTube playlist, and that'll have all the the songs from the various soundtrack that we're talking about. Free to watch or listen. Keep them there for later. Whatever. Listen to the rest on your own.
Okay, what are we going to listen to?
Okay, so for 2001, I think. What would you like to listen to, Cam? Do you want to listen to the first track? Is a kind of a lot of scream.
Let's listen to it for a short time. Go to maybe like a minute and listen for maybe 20 seconds.
So let me just say that the first. Let me give you a little bit. The first track is. Okay. We'll listen to that one first, and we'll just.
Yeah, just a short bit. You'll get the idea.
First 60 seconds. Might talk while it's being done. So this is very.
It's a lot of choir vocals.
And this is a very build up to scare the bejesus out of you, so to speak.
You get the idea pretty quick.
It just gets louder and louder.
All right, enough of that.
All right, I'm gonna pause that. Yeah. So it's two mixed choirs and an orchestra doing that. So let me give you a little bit of information about the soundtrack first, Cam, and then we'll go on a couple more. So, of course, it includes a number of classical and orchestral pieces. This is kind of helped to get a bunch of people into this, along with Looney Tunes. Is what got me into classical music. You've got the Blue Danube Waltz, of course. Also, Spec Zaustra or the Spock Zaustra, classic ones that we've all heard before from this. Kubrick specifically said that he wanted this movie to be non-verbal in a sense. If you notice, you listen to the music, there is never any dialogue. Sorry, there's never any music during dialogue. Never. And the spike bookends the film. It starts the film and ends the film with the So let's listen to that one next. That's track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, Sprite 143. So go ahead, put that one in. And it's kind of a classic. Everyone's heard this one by now. Some great crashing there. All right, Cam, your thoughts?
Well, it's clearly a huge kind of majestic piece. That's
Big build up.
yeah, and it's like screaming ta-da, kinda,
Yeah.
and then does that kind of several times, and it keeps on, the it's like da 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 da, and then ba-ba, it has like different a few different variations of the response um, to the buildup, but it's all kind of in the same direction of like like
More and more
amazing
production.
discovery, like life changing discovery.
Yeah, he wanted to get that wonder. And okay, let's. Why don't we do the Blue Danube?
Okay, love it.
Of course, this is it. Yeah, great, great. But you do you remember when this is? Well, you know what? Let's listen to it first, and then
Yep.
you tell me if you remember when this is being played. Okay, go ahead. That's track number 4, 540. Takes a bit to really get going. It's about 1:30. It really starts to pick up with what most people recognize as the this waltz. I'm pausing mine at about 2:30. So this is a very much a piece used to Kubrick. He really saw the spinning satellites and space stations as kind of a waltz. He took his view from that. So we see this in the travel sequence, the Pan Am space plane docking at the space station, and the lunar landing. So he very much, you see these spinning satellites. He goes, "Hey, that's like a waltz." So he used those for that. Uh, that was, of course, that's John Strauss. Strauss's best known waltz. Comments about this one, Cam?
It's one of my favorite musical pieces.
Classical. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's great for those scenes, and so very well selected.
Yeah. There's the other one. I mean, there's other stuff to highlight, but I want to highlight one more, which is track. Let's see here. Track 7, Guyane Ballet Suite. I don't know if you want to listen to this, but this one is used when Bowman and Poole are together and we meet them. And it's it's very much lonely and mournful. It's kind of get this
Yeah.
two guys isolated by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe we want to listen to.
Yeah, you could listen right at the beginning. It picks up, you hear it right away.
Yeah, let's put it on. And you get that sense. So, quite different, but still evoking that, these two guys isolated. All right. Good night, Mr. Milk Toast.
Take care, Mr. Montos. Okay, you got it.
And this is, of course, this is the Adiago from this third ballet suite from R.M. Kachurin. Yeah, that's right. James got it right. Kachurin. I'll also mention that someone mentioned in the chat Georgi Legit. Oh, not very good.
Ligeti.
But he is his piece. If you want to listen to that, it's the second one. It's the Atmosphere. It's called Overture Atmosphere. And a little bit about that is that it's he employs something called micropolyphony and used sustained distant chords that slowly shift over time. It's very interesting. It was pioneered in this piece, and it's the only piece by him in the film. He admired the film, but he was irritated because Kubrick failed to gain his permission directly from him. He didn't ask him directly, and he was offended that his film was using a soundtrack shared by composers like Strauss. So I don't know why he's pissed off about that, but yeah. So that's a good. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, these got they get egos, I guess. But let's try listening to that one, and you see it's quite different a little bit.
Well, can we talk about the last one first?
Which one?
The one we just listened to.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like you said, it reflects isolation, and there's like these certain turns it takes where it is like indicating danger. It's like something you would hear. It's like if you were in a mystery or something, and there is impending danger. So it's I think that piece is excellent for the space travel portion of this. One that I don't know if really stands out or not, or if people watch it. It did for me, but
I think it's kind of subtle. It didn't really stand out for me when I was watching the movie. You know, like it was. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good piece or not, but you know, it's not as, you know, the waltz. You know,
Yeah, it is. It is.
Zathustra one always speaks out very well.
Yeah, it's definitely more subtle. But I think it weaves in a lot of these different feelings, or emotions pretty well. Quickly it shifts between them.
Existential dread, James says. Would you agree
Yeah,
with that?
yeah, I yes, I think
Some of
so.
that. Yeah. So try listening to the atmosphere one on your own as well. That's pretty. That's quite a bit different. I listened to it earlier, but yeah. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next. Halfway done. A couple more. Blade Runner. All right. Let me pull up that one. There is a link to Blade Runner, and I'll pop it in the chat as well. So for those of you who might be showing up late, what we're doing is we're talking about sci-fi, the best, some of the best sci-fi soundtracks, and instead of just playing it on the YouTube ourselves, we just put you a link in the chat and a link on the screen there to the YouTube versions of the entire playlist of the soundtrack for these movies. And you can just listen to them, follow along with us and listen, or listen to them later on your own, whatever you like.
Okay. What do you want to listen
Blade
to?
Runner. Okay. Why don't we listen to you want to listen to the main title?
Sure.
Got a little bit of voice in there. Oops, I got the wrong one.
Strange that this is main title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking about the 130, you're starting to hit more of the. It starts to sound like stuff you remember from the movie. All right, I gotta pause mine, but people can keep theirs going in the background. Before I ask you about this one, Cam, I'm going to give you a little information here, and you can tell me if it sort of how much it fits. Okay, so this was a bit of an unusual 1982 film. It was nominated for a BAFTA and a Golden Globe in '93. This is made by a Greek electronic musician, Vangelis. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's trying to get a sense of bleak futurism, and it used heavy use of like an emotive synthesizer, drawing on. You can tell, you can hear that, and this is kind of the first movie to do that. Um, it's you can see it's drawing on a bit of jazz, classical film noir, um, all kinds of stuff. Um, okay, do you think? What do you think?
Well,
Did you get that sense of bleak futurism?
it's a very weird piece because it's not particularly noticeable. This seems like incidental music for a main theme. Um, that it's very strange. The synthesizer feels very dated to me in this.
Yeah. Well, it would have
But
been brand new at the time.
yeah, I'm saying it like takes Blade Runner. I think is a movie that stands up pretty well. Doesn't feel like, oh yeah, I'm watching an old sci-fi movie. But that synthesizer does not stand up very well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so bleakness, yeah, I guess I could see how that comes through there.
There's some if you go further on, you go down to the last, and they got Blade Runner from 2049 as well. But we're just focusing on the original. If you go look at Tears in the Rain, notice that 2049 Hans Zimmer did a lot of the stuff for
Mhm.
Blade Runner 2049. So Tears in the Rain, that of course has pieces of the famous speech from Roy Batty. Tears in the Rain, Fire Ships, that sort of thing. So this soundtrack it was delayed by being released by 10 years. They didn't release it. There is a wasn't released till 1994. Um, there is a bunch of there was a bunch of bootlegs that were going around, a number of different bootlegs that were going around for this. And then even when they released the 94 version, there was various versions of the bootlegs that were better, that were uh, more true to the actual movie itself. And the original 1994 release had some stuff in there that wasn't in the movie, that kind of thing. So yeah, and then it was released again in 2007, and which was the 25th anniversary 3 CD set. So yeah, this was a big time of a bunch of different bootlegs were released over the years. Especially when it took, people enjoyed the movie, they wanted to listen to the soundtrack. It wasn't released for 10 years, for Christ's sake. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a little bit of um, a bunch of different 4 or 5 more. This this has been this film score has been called a classic and a work of genius by people, and is considered one of the best of all time. It was rated as the #1 film score of all time in 2019 by Pitchfork.
Hmm.
Um, and the Vangelis won Best Original Score for his Chariots of Fire, which was kind of conventional, yet didn't get anything for Blade Runner. And this is kind of groundbreaking with the synthesizers and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the background about Blade Runner.
Okay.
You want to listen to a little bit of? You mean go on here? Listen to Tears in the Rain a little bit.
Sure.
That's right. All right. Well, we'll put a little. If you, we're gonna put on Tears in the Rain. Listen to it if you like. Everyone likes Roy. Yeah, by the minute mark, pretty much the end of Roy's speech. Does have a very rain-like feel, though, eh? Would you agree? No? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention about Blade Runner
No, I will note that that piece is strangely hopeful, though.
at the end?
Yeah, with the the bells or the xylophone, the pling 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 pling.
It's hopeful or a little sad.
A little sad, but
It's Roy dying, of course, but
yeah, but it's light though. That it's a clear, bright tone. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah, yeah,
sequence you're playing is sad, but the tone itself is very uh clear, bell like, right? I mean,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It's
so it's an interesting contrast.
yes.
I wish I was smart enough to talk about music in a sensible way, or a professional way. I'm just kind of using all these terms. I'm not.
No, that's what we do. We're not here to.
That's right. We give
Experts.
you mid-level analysis.
That's right.
Of things.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's you. I think you've hit a key piece of the film, though, right? Like, it's not supposed to be. I mean, Roy is a machine, right? He's dying, and
Mhm.
it's somewhat sad, but he's a little bit, of a killer, and he's a little crazy, and maybe there's hope that
Yes, he's a heinous
that
murderer.
yeah, that a hope that we can, get beyond these things, and maybe that, through his, even though he doesn't make it, there's hope for others, you know, maybe less psychotic. I mean, he's just basically a soldier, right? So there's no other purpose. But all right. Okay, let's move along to our next one. Is, of course, Interstellar. This is a bit of a classic. Another Christopher Nolan, another Zimmer.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Interstellar?
Nope.
Oh my.
Because Christopher Nolan sucks.
Um, well, we're here just to talk about
Hey, I'm happy to listen to the music.
the music. All right, so probably the most. Let me pull it up. Let me pull mine up here. Probably the most. Cornfield Chase is track number 2. That's probably the most recognizable song from Interstellar. So let's put that up. Cornfield
Okay.
Chase, track 2. It's only about 2 minutes. About 45 seconds is where it really starts to hit. All right. I'm going to give you a little background about Interstellar first, Cam, and then tell me what you think about that piece. So, again, this is 2014 Nolan. Hans Zimmer is, again, the works with Nolan a lot. He did this. He was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score, a Grammy for Best Score in Visual Media as well. Zimmer said in 2022, Zimmer said that this was the best work of his career on this movie. You notice a lot of pipe organ in there, Cam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
He put that in. He wanted that organ. He saw the organ. He felt that looked a lot like afterburners on a ship, and he wanted the airiness from that the organ sort of brings, because of course air is precious to astronauts. What are your thoughts on that? That's probably the most iconic piece from the movie that everyone remembers. Your thoughts?
Uh, it didn't sound like a chase. Again, I didn't see the movie, so I don't.
Yeah, it's not a
it,
chase.
it's. I thought it was called Cornfield Chase.
Yeah. But it's used throughout the movie.
Yeah, it sounds like people that have not seen each other in a long time running towards each other to embrace. That's what it sounds like.
It was, yeah. It's used it's used throughout the movie. They're kind of the isolation when they're flying through wormholes and that kind of thing. It kind of has that sense of a little bit of loneliness, but also some tension. The score really, the score overall really makes it makes the movie bigger than it is. It really gives you get it this sense of vastness, and there's lots of shots from the vastness of space, and these astronauts are all going. You don't know, you haven't seen the movie, but the astronauts are all going by them alone to these planets. To check them out and find a new home for Earth. So it's it's kind of somewhat isolating as well. Yeah.
All right.
This was so a little bit of background. Nolan just calls up Zimmer and says, and he didn't know anything about the movie. He said he was writing a short story about a father leaving a child to complete an important job, which is kind of what the movie's about. The main character has to leave his daughter Murph and go to to find it. Earth is dying. He's got to go find it. They got to find a new planet, and they've sent a couple different people out. There's like, I don't know, 10 of them or 7 of them. I can't remember exactly how many. And he's one of them. So he's got to leave her to do this because Earth is dying. So that's what Nolan told him and said. The story contained 2 sentences of dialogue. It says, "I'll come back," and then the reply, "When?" And he said, "Hey, go compose me something." And Zimmer's like, "What?" So he did a 4-minute piano organ piece that had represented his idea of fatherhood, and he gave it to Nolan, and Nolan was said, "Hey, that's great," and he explained the further plot of the film, and though the film hadn't been written at the time, and Zimmer was skeptical, but he didn't see how his piece would fit in, but he worked on it, and again, like I said, Zimmer considers this the best work of his career. That's what he said in 2022. I don't know, maybe things have changed, but maybe his Dune stuff is. But yeah, you can. I feel it evokes that sense myself. Your thoughts, Ken?
I didn't see the movie, so I have a hard time judging whether it's fitting or
It's just from the sound, the soundtrack. Okay.
It felt a little repetitive to me.
You thought so?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's interesting. Interesting take from someone, because that is the kind of the classic that ding dong back and forth sort of thing. It's kind of the classic movie that everybody's heard from from the trailers or whatever. It's the piece that you always you hear. All right. Okay, we got two left. Let's move along. Okay, so the next one is not really a movie, but this is kind of one that I threw in that I felt was a pretty good um, song. Cam, have you ever played the Halo games at all?
I'm sorry, what games?
Have you ever played the Halo games?
I played the first one.
Okay, that's the one where I'm going to focus on the first one, but I mean, they're all similar. Okay, so there's the link. So if you want to go check out, click on the link, the Halo game, and pull up the soundtrack. Now this link here has a bunch of different. It's got a bunch of different Halos on there. It's got a bunch of them. So try. I think it's the very first one on the thing called Halo. You want to pull that. This is from Halo Combat Evolved. It's long. Okay, I'm going to cut off about the 220 mark of that. Cam, what are your thoughts?
Okay, it's a interesting combination. It starts off with very religious sounding music.
Yep, the
To
monks.
start, yep, and then it gets into the percussion sounds very tribal to me,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of takes on a nautical element to it, like you're sailing the high seas kind of thing,
Mm.
and then the percussion changes a bit there to be less tribal, but then it comes back to that, and then I don't know if there's a vocal or something else in there that also sounded uh, had a tribal element to it.
Yeah, there's also, yeah, I agree. There's also a bit of strings in there. The dun 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 dun. That's obviously that's a cello, right? Dun 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 dun. Ba, 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 ba. That's that's part of that is cello. So
Mm.
yeah, I think it's a very uh, evocative piece. If you go through, the all of the this piece is almost all of the other Halo music from all of the other games has some sort of elements of what you've heard in it, or like in the background, or they weave in and out, or something like that, right? Or there's Halo 2, for example, has a version of what we've just heard, which is very heavy on guitar, very heavy
Mm.
on the electric guitar, called the Halo Theme Gundar Mix, which is a little bit farther down. You can listen to that if you want on your own. That's but it's very similar to this, but it's just different. So you see a lot of this. So that's why I'm just listening to this because it's kind of gives you the good sense of that. And
Yeah,
it's very evocative. What they were trying to do is, the composer was told, we want to feel an importance, weight, and a sense of the ancient within this music. And there's a lot of keyboard and synthesizers as well as other elements in there. Yeah, go ahead.
well, to the overall, all like I said, there's a lot of things being blended together here, but the overall uh, feeling that it's pushing to me is very forward. Like you're um, uh, it's not marching's not the right word. It's like you're pressing forward. It's
Yes.
very advancing.
Which the Master Chief is always doing. Yeah, it's always moving forward. But
Mission accomplished.
yeah, but but it still has the sense of, well, maybe not that piece, maybe a different piece.
Well, I think. Well, what did you say it was that they wanted to get out of that?
They wanted to have importance, weight, and a sense of the ancient.
Okay,
Because
well,
in the Halo games, they're dealing with a bunch of ancient technologies.
I I think that the choral portion of that can easily fit that
Yeah.
objective.
So they were the guy who composed this. He drew some inspiration from the theme from the Beatles, Yesterday. Which is kind of yesterday all my troubles seem so far. It's a little bit of kind of a little bit of loneliness, a little bit of I don't depressive. I'm not sure what you'd call that, but it was to me it's very evocative and it's very it's great for the you know it's very much improves it's a great example of the soundtrack really adding to a video game. Personally, in my view, let's go down a little bit. These are out of order in these Halo things. So this is from Halo 3. It's called "Finish the Fight," and if you listen to that one, we'll listen to that one. It's if you remember from the games, the Halo 3 was it was the third act. It was the of a trilogy. Everyone figured that there was going to be a sad the Master Chief would save the world, but there would be a sad ending. He would have to sacrifice himself. That was kind of the the general feeling. So listen to that and see how that Finish the Fight. And this Finish the Fight was used a lot in the marketing for Halo. Halo 3, Finish the Fight. It was very much pressed in the marketing of the game, and maybe you feel that way. So listen to that one and see what you think about that. Yeah, Finish the Fight.
Okay.
228. It's about 55 seconds in, it starts to hit. Your thoughts about that?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Yeah, you kind of got to listen to the whole piece. Sorry, should have let it.
Oh.
Your thoughts about? Do you?
It I again, I don't. Is in this portion of the game you're still acting as a solo dude?
Yeah, all through all of them.
Okay,
Sure.
this does not sound like a solo, not like a guy going
Really?
off to do something. No, this sounds more like, uh, a team or an army or something going off to do something.
Really?
Hmm.
I see. To me, this. I mean, this is. I mean, it's very similar to the original, but in a sense, it's even more. I mean, the whole idea of finish the fight, the idea that you've been battling through these three, games, movies, whatever you want to call them. Whatever. I mean, and you've got to finish the fight, and this is sort of the last sacrifice, the last, and you've been through a lot. It always made me feel that we hopefully we're going to succeed, but we might not make it survive. And of course, it's the third one. You know the threats are always pushed up higher for everyone. So it really evokes that to me, this sort of sad, lonely, but heroic, one man against all odds type of thing. So I always got that from this myself. But yeah, there's no real team, in this portion of it anyway. But yeah, okay. Anything other
That
comments?
that does not hit for me at all. What you
Really?
described. Yeah.
Hmm. Um. Okay. One more. I'm surprised. I thought you'd get that. I don't really have much more else. Do you want to listen to the other one track, which is kind of a more of a guitar theme, just to get a different idea of it? I mean, it's similar to it's the same style sort of music.
Okay, what is it?
Halo theme Gunner mix. It's from Halo
Okay,
2.
I see it. I see it.
Um, it's just a little more rock, a little more heavy electric guitar. Just listen to that for fun.
Starts off the same.
Yeah. Maybe a little more mournful with the monks. A little more frantic, maybe.
Mm.
Okay, I think you probably get the idea of that one. They're very similar, just a little bit of a different take. Yeah. All right. Any thoughts on that one?
Um, yeah, the stuff that I said was like tribal before is completely buried by the guitar.
Yeah.
It really overwhelms it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different take on the.
Yeah, it's I think it's a very different feel to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think this is myself personally. I felt that this music was very evocative for the game and really got across the man one man against all odds type of situation, and it's I think it's some of the best video game music out there. The first Halo, you can pretty much listen to that. You don't need to play the game. You could just listen to that with all the different styles of music and the drums and all kinds of different. It's not one note. There's a lot more through it. You could probably just listen to this on your own. The soundtrack. You wouldn't have to play the game or do anything like that. Yeah. Okay. Last thoughts about that one?
No, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and of course, the final one on our show today is, of course, Star Wars, the classic. Let me just pop those up there. We got to mention Star Wars, even though everybody knows about it. We got to mention it. Do you want to listen to? Okay, so this one is this is a little bit for this this playlist. This playlist starts at the first movie, The Phantom Menace, and works its way down. So if you go down, scroll down to A New Hope, main title. You want to listen to that one?
Okay.
First, Cam, are you good with that?
I'm pretty familiar with it.
What's that?
I'm pretty familiar with it.
Pretty familiar with it? Let's listen to it for a little bit, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, pretty good. Used to that one, heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me give you a little bit. Of course, this is John Williams, as everyone knows. He's the composer for all 9 of the original movies, the prequel, sequel, and of course the originals. Let me give you a little bit of information. This album was released June 1977, a double LP.
I have it inches away, inches away from my hand right now.
Well, it might be worth money.
Yep.
The main title theme for Star Wars peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Top 100. There was a disco version that got to number 1.
Jeff and I were talking about that earlier.
Oh, were you? I haven't heard that one. I was going to look it up. I forgot to.
I had that also back in the day.
Really? A disco version that became a number 1 single in the U.S. in October of 77. And the album itself became the number 2, rose up to the number 2 position on the album chart. That was the highest it reached. And it's the best-selling symphonic album of all time. It went gold and platinum. It got Academy Award, Golden Globe, BAFTA, Grammy Awards. And it was voted in 2005 by the American Film Institute. Sorry, not voted, but the American Film Institute came out and said it is the most memorable score of all time. I mean, we forget. I was a kid, and I didn't, I wasn't paying attention to this sort of stuff. But we forget how much of an impact this song, this album had on the pop culture. I mean, gold, platinum, all these awards. A disco version that went number one as single. I did not know about that one. Yeah, quite an iconic film or theme. Everybody knows it.
True.
Any comment, Cam? Do you want to?
Um, obviously,
I have two other tracks that I want to listen to.
Okay.
From Star Wars in general.
Okay, I'll be brief then because we're running over here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of triumphant elements to that, right? But it kind of goes up and down. There's a lot of changes. It's like you can almost envision the movie, just by listening to the main theme there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other two tracks I think are the most iconic that I want to put to is you're gonna have to scroll down. You're gonna have to scroll down to a little bit past The New Hope to Empire Strikes Back, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth track, the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme.
Yep.
Let's let that go for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cut her off at about 45 seconds. That's pretty much get the sense of it. Everyone's heard it before pretty as well.
Yep.
Other than this is the ringtone I have on my phone for when my wife calls me. Any thoughts on this one?
Again, very evocative of it's threatening. It's the Imperial theme, obviously, but it's also it's very formal. It's not. It's a lawful evil theme to use D&D terms, right? It's not like there's nothing like, oh, it's this horror or anything like that. It's like, this is an evil empire. I mean, it really fits perfectly.
It's it's classic. It's so well done. I mean, I've got two of the Star Wars soundtrack albums myself, two different ones. Let's do. Can you guess the last one that I'd like to do?
The end theme?
No.
I don't know.
Duel of the Fates.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably. I think I've picked. I think the three most popular ones. So right from the very top, Phantom Menace. It's the second one down. Duel of the Fates, which I think is excellent. Okay, go ahead. Let's do that one. Okay, that's about 2 minutes in. I'm gonna just pause it there. Cam,
Yeah.
your thoughts on
Uh,
that one?
a great piece. It has, it starts out again with the choral
Yeah,
parts, which again give this kind of, it's this huge signal that it's like something big is about to happen, right?
yeah,
And then it goes into this, this, that's just driving like behind the whole thing,
building.
giving this,
Yeah,
right, this sense of urgency. And then it, even it's going to these different parts, but that keeps on sitting there in the background,
yeah,
pushing the piece forward. Um, it, I don't know. It's excellent,
yeah. And in the prequel movies, some of the lightsaber work is some of the fastest in there, eh? Like it's
I,
very, very, especially. I mean, it's more so in
yeah.
the later movies with Anakin and Obi Wan
Okay.
fighting and
Okay.
stuff. But
Allow me to comment on that, if you would. The Phantom Menace is the best, in my opinion.
oh, really?
Yeah, it's the best lightsaber duel in any
Yeah.
of the movies. And the one that's most disappointing for me is the Obi-Wan and Anakin one in Episode 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that should have been. It was very fast. There's a lot going on, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But that should have been the ultimate, right? Because you heard about it from the very beginning. That's like, oh yeah, Vader and him had a duel,
yeah, yeah.
and and it just didn't. It didn't get there, for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm commenting on the speed, and I think that the
Yeah, there's a lot of blows that go on during that
yeah.
third one.
Well, I
But
mean, in general, in those three movies, and I think that it's kind of not mimicked, hinted at with the dun, 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 like it's pushing it faster and faster, and then we're seeing
yeah,
these guys, you know, hitting each other. Ray Park and the two of them going at him, and him blocking them all. Very well done.
yeah. Well, and that's my point. I think that the other one, the Obi-Wan and Anakin one, was just
Yeah,
fast. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It was less complex when it comes down to it. It was flashy. And I won't say that any of these are realistic, like real duels. And of course, they're not using steel weapons, so it's not like it would be a real world thing. But um, the Phantom Menace one was complex and had all the because again, the fighting styles were very different.
yeah,
Um, and I don't. It's the best one in my opinion, except for
yeah,
maybe there are some excellent ones in the animated
yeah.
shows too.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of commenting just on how the music reflected the speed of the battle. That's what I was
Mhm.
heading towards. I mean, I think Duel of the Fates is the more I listen to it, the more it comes back about how great an orchestra is. And I mean, there's not a lot of Williams doesn't usually use choral in his stuff in Star Wars, right? Like it's mainly
Mhm.
it's more orchestral and stuff, so it's kind of unusual in this piece.
Uh, yeah. So one thing I was going to say is the Star Wars stuff is so well known that it almost feels generic to some degree. It isn't, but it's like again, especially from the beginning, the first movie.
Mm.
It is so much of a like a classic orchestra piece, that it and being so well known that it doesn't feel as unique as some other pieces of music do today.
Yeah,
Again, it's like it's due to its success of,
yeah.
of being so famous that it feels less special in some ways. Um,
I mean, it was 1977. It's quite some time ago.
yeah, and but what I'm saying, music, soundtracks are more complex in a lot of ways. It's even though it's great and everything, it's kind of straightforward in terms. I'm saying the original.
Yeah,
In terms of what it does. Whereas this is more complex. The Duel of Fates is more complex
yeah,
than most of the pieces you'll find in,
yeah.
um, A New Hope.
And that was kind of what I was mentioning earlier. Like you've seen, you can sort of see that the Toto from the original Dune, composers seem to become a lot more. They understand what they're trying to do with these movies more so, and they're trying to evoke more emotions, be more evocative with what they're doing with whatever it is, trying to match the movie closer than in the past. They've taken it more seriously. That's kind of what I was suggesting at the beginning. I think that reflects it. I mean, next year, that's 50 years for Star Wars. Those films. That's a long time.
Now, I will note that you didn't listen to any Star Trek.
No.
Hater.
No, this is, evocative movie. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we can't do everything. We only have 2 hours.
Right. Spent too much time on Dune.
Yeah. I wanted to contrast the two there. Yeah. Okay. You think that some Star Trek should be included?
Definitely.
What would you include?
I would. Well, first of all, Star Trek motion picture main theme, which became the Next Generation main theme. That's a huge one. And then I would note some of the in Wrath of Khan, some of the battle music.
Right.
And then probably the Klingon music from the motion picture as well.
All right. Interesting.
A couple of examples. And then I would also note you could do a whole show on just doing the theme songs of the various Star
that's true.
Trek
that's
shows.
True. Yeah, we're kind of looking at the entire soundtracks for all of these. Yeah. All right. Okay, great. We'll have to do a counter. Cam will do a counter show. No, you forgot all these things. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got. Let's wrap up. Cam, do you have? We want to mention what's coming up. I'll say there's going to be a couple of pop-up snobs tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Clayface and maybe President Curtis, which is a Rick and Morty spinoff, which is on tonight, the first episode. We're going to be talking about it, see if it's any good. I'll watch it tonight and comment on it tomorrow. And of course, Babylon 5 coming up this Wednesday. What's it? Atonement, I think, is the episode that we're doing. Yeah. Cam, do you have anything?
Nope.
All right. Do you want to? Is Jeff here? I didn't hear him talking. Should we do some jokes? All right. I'm gonna before we go out, I can't forget. I got to do the jokes. Ooh, that's a good one. Cam, these are all music related, of course. Why don't skeletons play music in church?
Why don't skeletons play music in church?
Yes. They don't have the organ. Why did the piano break up with the accordion?
I don't know. Why did the piano break up with the accordion?
It found it too pushy. I'm saving the better ones for last, hopefully. What do you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft?
I don't know. What do you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft?
A flat miner. And what is this is a classic one from when you were in grade 2, probably elementary school. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit?
I don't know. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit?
Banana.
Get it?
You don't remember that one? It's a classic one for when we were grade 1 or something like that. All right. That's it for the show. Next week on this show, we're going to talk about it, but I'd like to do something about Spider-Man. Spider-Man movie's coming out. We should do something about Spider-Man next week. Are you in for that?
I will have nothing to contribute.
You don't know anything about Spider-Man? Never heard of him?
I know various things about Spider-Man. I don't know anything about Spider-Man movie or.
But you know about Spider-Man?
Yeah, generally.
All right. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. let us know if this format worked or not. If it didn't, but at worst case, you've got a ton of interesting YouTube links to a bunch of playlists that you might want to listen to on your own. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.